Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. We are going to be live today over on this channel for Gamescom Opening Night Live. I'm going to have a link in the description below to the actual stream placeholder. So all you need to do is go and click on that and the actual bell so you get notified 15 minutes before time that I am going live. I'll be going live 6:30 BST, so hopefully I'll see you there as we can react to this together. Me and my son will be doing this, so hopefully you'll enjoy it. But that said, we do have a few things to go through today in this video, some of it pertaining to Gamescom Live, and hopefully some stuff prior after. But without further ado, let's get cracking because this video isn't waiting for anyone. Okay, so first thing first, we have this you're seeing on screen here. Now, it is heavily rumored that during Gamescom Live, Opening Live, a bunch of games are going to be dropped, and it might not actually happen during the presentation, although I do believe from what I've heard it is. It could happen over the next few days as Microsoft is having 3 days of showcases for their games. But 2 of the 4 games in particular, 3 games in particular actually, have been running around with talks from Special Nick as well that they are trying to gain the licenses, and that is Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 and Deadpool. Obviously Deadpool is in the highlights right now with Deadpool and Wolverine, and they've had the cheeky controller, so it makes perfect sense for them to actually try and get these games onto the actual service, at least even if it is for a short time. If they are there, make sure you buy them, because once you buy them, they are there indefinitely, because these are licensed products, so they could disappear. But the rest of these have a really high chance of actually dropping. From the Call of Duty, Sekiro may or may not actually, because that's part owned by someone else, but the rest of these could actually drop. Skylanders will be a bit of an issue because you can't use the toys, but you get the drift. There's a really big chance that these will be dropped today. Now, if we're looking at other games that could potentially drop today, we're looking at stuff like Towerborn. We are looking at maybe a Starfield update, but in terms of like shadow dropping, outside of those 2, I don't see anything else. We do know that Sega is actually releasing or announcing a game that's been totally unannounced, in the weeds. No one's really spoken about it, knows about it. So this could be really interesting to see exactly what it is. It's definitely not that new Sonic game that they've been talking about. So I don't know what this is. I've tried to find out. I haven't managed to find out anything, but I'm hoping that we're going to get a few surprises along the way today, along with maybe a Final Fantasy IX announcement, which is pretty exciting if you ask me. But we do have more news, especially with Martin O'Donnell. Now, I know some of you absolutely love this guy, yet Nib wasted no chance in trying to defend Martin O'Donnell because Xbox bad, right? And this guy, after 17 years, is still blaming Microsoft for the wrongdoings. Now, you would be remiss to actually, maybe potentially hear him out. Of course, I'm blaming the Series S here because that's obvious. But the reality is Pete Parsons, from what he says himself, was actually removed from Bungie and reinstated back into Microsoft. Now, apparently a lot of the leadership for Bungie actually came from Microsoft, and that kind of mentality has remained. Of course, they actually got rid of all the toxic people that they call toxic away from Bungie. But guess what? After a while, Martin himself actually voted to get Pete Parsons back in. And now he has the audacity to still blame Microsoft for what's going on here. I'm sorry, dude. The reality is he was out. You guys brought him back in whatever capacity that is. The chain of causality at that point breaks. The fault isn't on Microsoft, even though I know you love to blame Microsoft. The fault is all yours. If we're going to go down that granular path, the fact that you brought back Bungie is the reason why Bungie has failed. You are 100% responsible for all the layoffs and the people that have, been hurt by what's been happening at Bungie, because you were responsible for bringing him back into the fray. He was out, and Bungie could have had a prosperous future, but that wasn't enough for the cronies. They needed to get Pete Parsons back. So instead of blaming Microsoft, how about look in the mirror? I'm sorry, but the facts are facts, right? Like, it's it's horrible, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Next up, we have Black Myth Wukong, and this game is doing absolutely phenomenal. It is at 1,430,452 concurrent users at this point, with a max of 1.443 million. That is insane. Absolutely insane. And it just goes to show that just because a game gets 82 doesn't mean it's not going to do well. A lot of people were looking forward to this, especially those in China, and they have propelled this to unfathomable levels. Of course, you do have certain ponies out there that are now looking at this number and saying that this is the the best game in the world currently. And when you look at the top list, let's see if I can find it. So as you can see here, Phil Spencer done a terrible job. This is currently the biggest game in the world, 1.433. And I quickly pointed out to this dude here, it's not the biggest in the world. And he said currently. So I posted this. It's currently 4th in the queue. But apparently that's not enough for this Silk Grey Tyrones. This is how special they are. I mean, I have to ask, why do you waste your taxpayers' money on people like this? They have no intention of having a brain cell, and they're calling me brainless when currently it is 4th. How can it be 4th and be the best in the world currently? I mean, if it was best in the world currently, it would be number 1. But I guess 4th is where they draw the line. But you know what? Outside of the ponies being complete and utter twats, this is actually pretty awesome to see that another game has blown up this year to the, it hasn't hit the levels of Powerworld just yet, but I think it can probably hit like 16, 17. Maybe over the next few days could even hit up to 2 million. Who knows? Maybe it might even surpass Powerworld. That'd be interesting to see and interesting to follow. But Game Science has delivered a banger. So let's see how that actually goes, continues. Don't forget, this is just on Steam. We'll skip the PlayStation numbers soon enough, I suppose. But yeah, good stuff. So, for those of you that enjoyed the game Bully from yesteryear, apparently there is a remaster happening for this, or a remake. But Rockstar Take-Two Interactive, it's for the PS5, so they've clearly registered this as a game. I think this is going to be a remaster for it. Let's just see what it says. The Taiwan Digital Game Rating Committee has rated Bully for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. People assume this is a remaster. I know a lot of people have been looking forward to a sequel or a redo of the Bully game. Well, it looks like Rockstar has listened and is delivering. Last but not least, can't have a video without talking about Final Fantasy, right, Steve? Final Fantasy 16 is coming to the Epic Game Store as well as Steam, and it's going to be $50 or £50 for the base game, $70 with the DLC. So it's actually cheaper than the PlayStation version. This actually runs. I've tried the demo on my Steam Deck. It's not perfect. It runs around 30-40 frames per second. Some scenes do actually drop for a split second or two down to like the 20s. But the demo is like 3-4 months old code. So I wouldn't take that with any authority. The final release of the game should be a bit more optimized, and so I suspect those drops and dips that were happening will disappear. But with FSR-free frame generation enabled, even those dips that do drop, you don't really notice it. And I'm someone that's quite picky when it comes to FPS. On the Steam Deck, I don't really expect to get 60, but 30-40 is generally acceptable. So that's actually pretty cool. But Final Fantasy 16 is coming on September the 17th for PC on Epic Game Store and Steam. But it doesn't end there with the Final Fantasy news. Final Fantasy 9 for PC has had a new mod. Now, if we actually play this, I'm just going to turn the music off. This is actually pretty phenomenal. The change that's happened to this game, where everything has been done so well, is phenomenal. Like, this pretty much is just outstanding work that the Moguri mod has been doing. Now, of course, there is every chance that today Final Fantasy IX could be announced as a remaster, a remake, and maybe and look even better than this. But for those of you that haven't played Final Fantasy IX yet and have been itching to get into it and are deciding to play this on PC or even the Steam Deck for that matter, this is going to be the best one for you. Even the music has been redone faithfully. It's absolutely gorgeous how good this actually looks. Even the cutscenes run at the full speed. I mean, this is great. This is absolutely phenomenal, and I'm probably going to give this game another shot personally myself. But folks, that is it. That's the video. I'll be live tonight at around 6:30 p.m. BST. Hopefully we will have a good presentation from Gamescom Opening Night Live, and there'll be some Game of the Year announcements as well from what I've read, so let's see how that actually enrolls. Hopefully I'll see you there. Let me know what you think in the comment section below for the content you've seen in this video. Let me know what you think of Wukong's success. Is it expected? Are you surprised? It seems to be taking the world of thunder, and what do you know? It's actually doing well, even though it got an 82. Who would have thought? Anyway, that's the video. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, hit that bell to stay up to date with all content I release. You can support me further through my YouTube membership by clicking on that join button directly below. Clicking on that, you can get free emotes for live streams, as well as getting content like this earlier. You can support me further through the super thanks if you really enjoyed this video. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next one. As always, remain legend.